Who's your biggest inspiration in comedy?
Patrice O'Neal,
One of the goats.
One of the goats. Especially he's a big dude. Gab, he's got a lot of. He holds women accountable, which I love in dating. So like I love that shit. Opposite direction of what you see. Like I'd always hear like women shitting on dudes about everything, and I was like, I want to talk about how bad women are at things too, and acknowledge it. Like women always say dudes are bad at sex, and I'm like, so none of y'all are bad at sex? Like we're all bad at sex. None of you are bad. No one. The whole women population. It's just all us? And I'm like, let's think about that. Like, so not one of you just lay there. I was talking about how I see why missionary is great for you, but it sucks for us because we're putting all the work in. I was like, imagine a chick is telling you, first off, she just laying there and she's like, right? She tells you after laying there the whole time, not moving, yeah, he's not good at sex. Like, bitch, fuck you. You didn't even do anything. I was like, missionary is like one of the like simplest positions because like I'm doing all the work, I'm thrusting. Like I remember I talked about like premature ejaculation. Like missionary is one of the worst positions for a dude who premature ejaculates because one, he's doing everything. That's why they come around. I was like, what you need to do, you need to flip it over, you need to get on top. And then I would say that and so many chicks like was like arguing with me. She's like, you know how hard it is to get on top? I got bad knees. I don't feel cool up here. Like
so what you're saying is you're bad at sex.
Yeah. So it was like all this like excuses.
And welcome back to the 2 Coin Podcast. It's your boy Ronnie.
I'm your brother Waleed, the other side of the coin. Today's episode is brought to you by
Mustard.
It's me anytime I order a hot dog at Costco and they ask me what I want on it. That's what I'm gonna do now.
Just yell mustard.
Yeah. It's that GNX, bro. If you know, you know.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe, tune into all future episodes, and tap in with the boys, man.
Hell yeah, man. We got a special guest today, man. We got Corde Snell, Richmond's finest. You know what I mean? I met this gentleman while I was bartending at the Improv, man.
Yeah.
Cool soul, genuine soul, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, you know, not gonna lie. That's why I was kind of late because it'd be hard to get up and do shit early in the morning. I'm not gonna lie.
Even though it's not that early, because bro, me too, I live an hour away.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to be up at like 8:30.
Yeah.
Try to be out the door before 10. I'm like, it's kind of tough on a Saturday, bro.
Not only that, too, is like I woke up early because I was trying to get the new cements to drop today. So that's why.
Shit, okay.
So like I got home at like 2:30, or like 2, went to sleep at 2:30, 3-ish, and then like woke up at like 6:45 to like wait for 7. So I'm just like, okay, all right. And then for some reason, random reason, I woke up at 5 something, and then it reminded me to set my alarm for the drop. I was like, so yeah, it was.
Did you catch it? Did you cop?
I didn't. But so I had to go StockX, which I'm like kind of like upset about. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
gotta wait a
that.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. I mean, what's the price difference on a StockX?
It was $225, so probably would have came up to like $230, $240. But then on StockX it was $290.
Damn, okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
They for sure gonna make a little bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, okay, $60 more. I was like, fuck. All right. Cool.
I need to re-up on a pair.
Yeah.
But we just gonna get right into it, bro. Ronnie mentioned that you were a stand-up comedian or are a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Let us know like what made you want to pursue a career in comedy?
Man, I didn't want to pursue comedy at all, man.
It found you?
That wasn't me, man. I took a drama acting course at my junior college at CCC. And then I remember literally was in the class and I was like roasting people as they was coming in. And then my teacher told me to stand up. And I was like, oh, man, stand up. It's like, no, stand up. And so I stood up. He's like, oh, no, this is written down. You don't have this written down. I was like, nah, I can just do this off the top of my head. And she was like, you should try comedy. I was like, nah, I just roast people and tell stories. She's like, that's comedy. And
That's literally comedy.
And I was like, what does this white woman want from me? So shout out Kathy McCarthy. She passed a few years ago. But
Shout out Kathy.
yeah, but she was dope.
So how long ago was this?
This was 2010. This was April of 2010.
Okay.
So yeah. And the funny thing about it is like I don't count my first 2 years doing stand up as my actual 2 years. I don't started counting it till like August 2012. I think it's like August 15th or something like that.
Okay.
Because my first 2 years, like when I was with Kathy, we would just like put on shows, but I wouldn't have open mics. I wouldn't write, or like we would do like a writing session, and I'll come up with jokes like a day or two beforehand.
Yeah.
Never practicing stuff, never doing everything. You know how like most people they tell the story when I first tried comedy, I bombed.
Yeah.
I didn't bomb, I did well.
But I killed that shit.
Yeah. No. So literally, everybody like, man, I don't believe you. I was like, nah, I did. But you know how most people, you bomb, so you can like, okay, I'm gonna keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
I did good, and it said, I'm doing good. I'm not even trying, and that's why it started getting worse and worse and worse. So that's why I was just hella arrogant straight out the gate. And then it wasn't until I think one of my homies who had like really been trying, really been practicing like for a lot, like hitting it hard. Who like first time he went up, he didn't do well.
Looking at you, mad as fuck.
Well, no. Well, so when I saw him like in like 2 years or whatever, like from the time we both started, I was like, I'm funny to this dude. I was like, man, watch me go up here and do it. And I had like a cool 7 minutes, and he did like 30. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Where this come from? And then it was like one of all those shirts that used to have sayings. It was like, our hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I was like, oh shit, I'm the talent. I'm the talent.
It clicked.
So it clicked. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, I got to really start like grinding this shit out to really like get better, really hit open mic stuff and take this shit seriously.
Damn. So how old were you when you after that 2 year?
I was 22. Like I first tried comedy, I was 20 years old. It was
Damn,
like
okay.
April 2010. I'm specifically
Man, locked in to 22.
Yeah,
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, because I remember what it was. So I was playing football at the time, and my first show was in April. Then my next show was in it was in the fall. So it was right during the season too. Like, and I remember I got hurt. I tore my MCL the first game of the season. And the next week, I was like, should I go to this comedy show or should I go to the game? And I'm like, I'm not playing. But I'm like, how am I like tell my coaches, hey, I'm not coming today? Yeah. And so it was like, because it was a road game too. But I remember I was like, coach, I don't want to go because I really can't bend my knee. I ain't trying to be in the van. But it was like, you got to be there for moral support. And then I went, and then
I'm trying to go to this comedy show.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't even wrote no jokes. So, and then I went to the game, and then my knee actually started getting better. Like I remember I was on crutches at first, but then the crazy thing about it, my homie broke his leg, so I gave him my crutches, and I was kind of able to walk, but it hurted a ton. Yeah. And then the trainer and the coach is like, "Oh, you walking now, so you can probably come back quicker." Nah,
he was like, "Nah, bro."
So it was like because it was a 6 to 8 week injury, but it was hopefully like we'll leaning more towards the 6, maybe even 4. Let's see if you can start running. Mm-hmm. And I think like it was like 4.5 weeks in. The trainer took me out on the on the field to try to run, and I couldn't lift my leg up really. Like my right leg was just dragging. He was like, oh shit. He was like, you might be more towards the 8 weeks than the 6. So then I ended up doing like a medical red shirt. Man, that was like my last year.
Damn, where were you playing?
I was playing D tackle. I was playing D tackle. So
where
at? Contra Costa College in Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah, so San Pablo specifically, but yeah, Richmond.
So you mentioned like when you first got into comedy, first time you went on stage, you killed it.
Yeah.
I have to imagine though, like anytime I try to put myself in the mind of a comic, we talk about self-doubt on the show a lot, overcoming self-doubt.
Yeah.
I feel like with stand-up comedy, that's the biggest pile of self-doubt you have to overcome. Yeah. Especially if you try to pursue that, like you're really putting yourself out there. Yeah. So how did you manage to get over that and like put on a good performance? Oh shit, like let's go back to it. Like so I kept saying like because I would roast people, I would get up there and I could just do it. I didn't I need to write something. I just do this. I just do this. Like too much confidence, right? And then Kathy was like, okay, yeah. But let's say if that doesn't work, you'll like buckle under the pressure within like minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So she's like, let's write some stuff out. And she kept telling me to write stuff out. And I was being lazy and I didn't want to do it. Because she wanted me to do this. I didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, okay, how about this? You just come up with stuff and we're going to turn it into something and we're going to write it out. And then so we came up with like a little script for me to do. I kind of like memorized it and went over it and stuff. And then my first time on stage, I got heckled too. For real? Like my first joke was like, I like to go to the gym. And then the dude was like, what? And then somebody was like, oh. And then the whole crowd started laughing at me. They was like, oh, ha, ha. And so I'm just like, like, what? You wasn't expecting that.
Wasn't expecting it at all. I'm like, what do I do? Do I run? Should I cuss this person out? I looked to the far left of the stage, and I saw my homies there. That was just like, and I was like, someone said, just stick it out. So everything died down. And I said, I like to go to the gym for the women. And they was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then after that, did like a solid like 4 minutes, and then when I got like a bunch of people was there, standing ovation and kind of stuff. So I was like, and it wasn't until I got backstage that people told me, hey, that was really good. That was hella funny. That told me I was actually good. Oh,
okay, I'm nice.
So yeah, it was funny because like the crowd reaction, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But I kind of didn't trust them because they was just like booing, like they was kind of roasting me before. It was until I got backstage, so it was like the actual like, hey, you actually good at this. Let's try this.
How do you deal with hecklers now? Is there like a formula?
Oh, dude, man, I love hecklers, dude. Like, I love them to death because I know I got experience with it. Like, if you come and heckle me, and plus I used to roast all the time, then I'm gonna come hard at you. Yeah. Like, you're like, oh, okay, you gonna try? Oh, we gonna do this? Yeah. We gonna make this about you, huh? Okay, let's do it, right? And then, oh shit, like he's like
spotlights on me now, like
because like if they find out, you know, most hecklers like when they heckle a comedian, like they try to do it to get a reaction out of a person. And they think, oh, this person ain't gonna come back at me. But then they see I'm excited to go at them. Like, oh, I chose the wrong one. Like, every time, you know, like kind of like that one dude who's like, hey, let's fight. Like, oh shit, I've been ready for a fight. You know, like, oh, shit. I've been training. And they're like, oh damn, like I picked the wrong person.
They thought you was gonna look at security like, you get him out of here.
Exactly. Like, oh no, dude, I got this. What's up, man? What we doing?
Like he's waiting for a fight.
Yeah.
So fight with a psychopath, bro.
Yeah, because it's funny because most comedians, what I noticed, like who, like the more experience you got, the more you can understand how to deal with hecklers. Like, because some people be like, oh, I'm just trying to get them on set, or like, oh, I'm so nervous, like, you know, like I'm just trying to tell my jokes. Like, oh shit, this person throwing me off. I can't remember my jokes, so they'll like not acknowledge the heckler. Like, oh hey, yeah, and then they try to just get back to where they was. But I'm just like, I'll like go at you, like, okay, what we doing? We talking? What's going on? What are we doing? Okay, cool. All right, so you done? All right, cool. You know I got the mic, right? So I can make fun of you, whatever I say, you know, kind of thing. Like, all right. So anyway, back to what I was talking about.
Hey, that's the thing too. I was wondering, are you one of those like when coming with hecklers, right? Like, you know, like an Aries Spears, how once he got you, you're part of the rest of the set. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is that what you draw back to that heckler for that show?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Especially if it's good and it's like super
now, does
funny.
that come like naturally, or is it just one of those like moments you start covered where you like you kind of like just flowing at that point?
Just flowing in the moment, because like what it is too, like what people really don't know is that like dealing with hecklers is like an experience thing, and then like having a quick-witted mindset to say it in so quick. That's practice in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why people who don't like acknowledge hecklers and stuff like that. Is because they don't have experience like having a quick back and forth with somebody, and they're not confident like talking to the crowd because they're just like focused on like, I just gotta do these jokes, I gotta say this next punchline, kind of a thing like that. Heckler comes off and throws them off their set. Rhythm, so I'll be like now I'm trying to figure out how do I acknowledge them? Do I go back? Do I say like, you know? But then what if it just goes bad? So they're more in their head now because they had to figure out how to get back to where they was at.
Damn. Yeah. That's why I got to give Bill Burr that credit for that one show that he did. It was 10 minutes of just straight getting at that Philly crowd.
I remember that.
Bruh, like to have that kind of confidence, like it goes back to what you were saying, that experience with being able to.
That's one of the most iconic sets ever, because it's like he was bombing up top, and then he flipped it on him to where he was bombing to now he started getting a few laughs, he started getting a bunch of laughs, and now he got the whole crowd dying. Like that's a feat in itself.
Elite crowd work, right?
Yeah, elite crowd work. You bombing up top, because when you start bombing, it's hard to get out of a bomb. Recover, like you see deeper and deeper. It seemed like he found some kind of stick and pulled himself out of the quicksand, and now he's like flying over the top. He was like, "Oh, you thought I was gonna die, huh?" So,
man, honestly, I credit that to that Boston in him, bro. Because that Philly crowd is different. Like not just for comedy, but just for sports in general. Like, that's like when they hate you, it's a fuck you city. You
exactly.
Know what I mean?
They're mad hostile.
You know what I mean?
But Boston people are. That's just the whole East Coast thing.
Exactly. So he'd be like, "Fuck you," like, "No, fuck you, fuck you and your mom and your family. You think I give a fuck about this?" So he was like, "Oh shit, he coming hard at us." So, and that's the kind of energy you need when a situation like that. So yeah.
Have you bombed recently or at all since you started?
Bombed recently. I don't think I've bombed recently, but I was at on like a few quiet shows, but it wasn't like a bombing. It was just kind of a. It was just they just see the headliner. So it's like not even like it's just you, because like sometimes what it is, you be thinking you bombing, but it's just that they quiet and they listening. Yeah. And then that's like in a sense in your head, you be like, oh, you bombing. It's just like, no, they're just like, you know, just like just listening, just like, okay, all right. And then you ask them, y'all having a good time? Woo! Yeah! You like, well, fucking show it, you know? But it's just a quietness, because they just waiting for the headliner. There's a few shows, like I did a show with Donnell Rollins at Tommy T's, and that was going on. I was like, man, it's kind of quiet in here. And like, I'm like, fuck, they not really laughing. But it was just like, hey, man, you cool, but we just like, you know, when it was here to see Donnell. And then after the show, everybody was like, "Hey man, good job, man. Good job, young man. Good job." I'm like, "Man, I didn't feel this good job up here." It was like, "Oh, dude, you had me laughing." I was like, "Oh, you was in the back? Okay, cool." Because there's always like a few people who be laughing, like even like a hard set.
Sometimes you can't just hold it in. But I definitely feel you on as far as like, you know, being on the other side for those 4 years working at the Improv, seeing how the crowd is to the openers and, you know what I mean? People like, what do you call those right before the headliner?
Oh, so it's the opener who's like the feature, and then it's like the host.
Features. So even with the features, bro, like people are quiet because they're here to see that main dude. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those. A lot of them, they may be under, like, you know what I mean? They may be paying attention, but not all the way because they're eating their food, they're getting their drinks. Yeah. And then, oh shit, the headliner's on, bro. I'm done. Get my plates out. My way. We tuned in now. You know what I mean?
So that's always hard too, because like a bombing, I remember it's just when, this is how you know it was a bomb. Just when like people just listening, and then like a bombing. A bombing is like when none of your jokes is working. Like that one few people who laughing, you just hearing like,
just crickets.
Crickets. Nothing. You hear like you hearing the forks. And the table shit is like, and you hear like there's always somebody like this call you like, shit, like this ain't going good.
Oh brother, this guy stinks.
Now, how slow does Tom feel in those moments?
Oh, it's an eternity up there, you know. Because when I was opening for Donnell, I was doing 20 minutes. And the weird thing about that show was like I was supposed to do 20 minutes, but then they kept lighting me at the wrong time, or they would light me early, or I walk up there and the light was already on. That's why I appreciate the Improv, because the Improv has the time set up there. Yeah. So if you know you can do your time, like, oh, I went over because I didn't know, and things like that. So versus like if I'm coming up, because I don't know if you know, but like they light comedians to tell like hey, you got like a 2-minute light, you got 2 minutes more, or you got 5 minutes more. But if you got the light already on as soon as you get on stage, you be like, what the fuck is this light on the whole time? Or then it cuts off, and you're like, okay, so like, did they start the timer now? Like you kind of like looking around, and then
try to tell your whole set while I'm trying to figure out what they're doing.
And then like you, then it comes back on, like, what that bitch? It was only that was 2 minutes. Like, what the fuck? What? And the whole time you telling the jokes, and they don't know that you thinking this right now. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you, bro, is when you get in those moments of you're on stage and you're not really sure how to proceed because the crowd and the vibe is not like working. Mm. Does that come back to like preparation? Do you have like a certain way of preparing jokes, and you have jokes that you keep in the tuck just in case shit hits the fan?
Gotta have something tucked, man. You gotta have something tucked, because it's like you doing jokes, stuff like that, and you getting like a few laughs, stuff like that, but you want like, the whole crowd like, okay, I'm about to end this joke sooner than I normally do, and I'm about to go to this other joke that I know is gonna kill, and I know it's gonna be way more interactive to bring people in. And it's gonna get people like, because people love to be part of the show and actually like, oh snap, you're actually calling on me, kind of a thing, and that kind of just really just makes it, oh, this is intimate. This is an intimate experience right now. I'm really part of the show, you know. So yeah, that definitely helps it. Like it's a joke about cats that I do. Where I talk about cats ain't shit, and then I ask people, name their favorite cat movie, and I just like dismantle their whatever movie it is, like with ease, and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? So yeah, it's super funny.
What cities have you performed at, and then what cities do you seem to find like that you get the most, like the best reactions out of?
San Jose. Shout out to the San Jose Improv.
Shout out to the Improv.
Sacramento Punchline. That's my next favorite one. Okay. I do shows in Oakland a bunch. I've done like a few shows in Richmond, Berkeley, but because I'm thinking specifically clubs. Those Sacramento and San Jose come to mind. Whenever I do like Santa Barbara, like anything in the 805 areas, I usually do pretty well because I'm usually headlining when I'm going down there. Those are super dope. Those that just immediately come to mind in California. I've done Medford in Oregon. I've done Richland, Washington, and Washington State. That's what's up. Phoenix, Arizona. I went to Stir Crazy, got up on open mic, but it was like a packed open mic, which was dope to see. Like it was 40 people there for open mic.
Damn. So and all 40 performed?
No. It was like a crowd. A crowd of 40
crowd
people.
Of 40.
Crowd of 40 with like, I think like 10 comics, something like that.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope to see. I was like, I'm open mic. I ain't should do an open mic. But I'm like, oh no, this is like a show open mic. Yeah. But it was like funny to see, like, because I found out that Arizona's like a red state. Red, blue, it switches, right?
Red this year.
Yeah. But it was funny because they was like talking about like pronouns. Like pronouns was like the thing that was like the topic of every comedian. I was like, man, y'all just now get on this shit. Like, I'm like, then like comics have like hacky jokes about pronouns, and you see 7 people talk about it. Not even good at all. And other dudes like getting up there doing whatever. I'm just like, man, wait till I get up here, dude. You can't even. But then I got like not to get mad, but I was just kind of like, I didn't know how long my set was, and I got the music played to get off. But I was just like, I was like, my bad about that. He was like, yeah, she be just kind of a stickler. Like, she got me off, even though I was doing well, and then let other people who wasn't doing well go. But I was like, well, I was kind of a guest spot, I guess, instead of like the book set. Or so I don't know. But it was also, I was just pissed because I was like, I didn't see the light. Like, I'm always trying to be respectful, and I'm not trying to go too long. So I'm like, yo, what was the light? I kept looking for it. Like, it was like right up there. I was like, I looked up there. The light was on the whole time. So I was just like, whatever. So I talked to her afterwards. She's like, yo, you kind of went over. I was like, no, I was looking for the light. I didn't see it. Like, nobody turned on. She's like, no, it's up here. I was like, I see that now, or I was told that, but it was on when I started. Yeah. So and like, she's like, oh, it was on you. She's like, oh, I had stepped away from the desk.
Oh, she fucked up.
Yeah. So it was like, I was like, oh, so she just thought I was
went over. Yeah, you didn't even put it on.
Yeah. So she thought I was running light. I was like, nah, I was trying to be respectful. I was like, I mean, I was kind of going kind of fast, but slowing down. Because I knew like I had a bunch of jokes to tell, but
I wanted to go back to what you said about the pronouns and like how everybody like uses that kind of material. Yeah, that's something I notice with comedy. Sometimes there's a lot of recycled material out there. Yeah. Do you try to like actively avoid it? And what kind of material do you like to address in your comedy?
Yeah, like pronouns. I don't do jokes about that because I just hear it too often. But then the common one that's always is dating. Like, I remember, especially when I started dating, I would always be like, this person stole my joke. This person stole my joke. Mm-hmm. And then they'll start saying that less and less. But then I would always hear that, like, we have a lot of the same premises, which is always, like, the topic that everybody says. But then some stuff I did start noticing people started talking about dating after they would hear me do jokes about certain stuff. So I think I would definitely influence some comedians to talk about it. Yeah. Like I had a joke about Bumble. Really didn't hear everybody talked about Tinder. Yeah. And I wouldn't talk about Tinder because I was like, I didn't have good experiences. So I talked about Bumble, like literally shit and then I'll talk about like the positives, negatives of it. And then other people like I'm like Hinge. Hinge is a fucking terrible app. And I was like, I fuck a lot of bitches on Hinge. I don't know what you talking about, dude. And then I would just kind of go in about certain stuff. But then I would hear like people saying the same stuff about dating apps after I would say it. And like it wouldn't be copying necessarily, but it was definitely same premises, similar type stuff. Yeah. So yeah. So dating is just hard to. It's like, oh, you stole my joke because you was talking about dating. And he'd be like, nah, so you kind of have to like center yourself and make it different. So that's why I talk about Bumble, talk about how women have no game and like all this kind of stuff. So you make it like super, super personal. And like, I'll tell a story about like how this chick, she was like, hey, it's like COVID or whatever. She was like, but we should do something super intimate. Let's go grocery shopping. And I was like, what the hell? That's a stupid idea. Why the hell would you go grocery shopping? So we at the store. Because she was like, I remember that I put it like, this is only something you would learn from a person if you lived with them. Yeah. If we went shopping together, we would really learn a lot about each other. And then I learned that I'm not into the shit she's in. And I'm like, yo, I'm an orange juice person. I was like, orange juice, like, hell yeah. But I'm a full pulp person. I was like, full pulp? That's like the shit in your mouth. Like I was like, I'm a low pulp. I'm a no pulp kind of person. So she was like, no. And then so there's like little stuff like that. It was like, or I was like, oh, I like you like milk. I was like, yeah, but I usually get like almond milk. She's like, oh, I like vitamin D milk. I was like, D, like for the vitamin D milk. Like, what we talking about right now? Yeah. So yeah, and you make it more personal like that, and then so yeah, that's how you kind of avoid it. But then even still, people still be biting your style. So yeah.
Yeah. What? Hey, my bad. Kind of going back off of like the biting the style stuff. Yeah. It's crazy because Russell Peters had talked about. He had made this joke about like dating a Russian and how they sound like you're like spinning a record backwards type shit. Mm-hmm. And then Trevor Noah had made the same joke or whatnot, and it goes back to what's your backstory behind it? He was talking about Russell Peters came up with the joke because he was dating some Russian chick and they were in a hotel. Yeah. and she was on the phone with her mom, and he was like, "Man, y'all sound like y'all like a record backwards." But Trevor Noah couldn't really come up with his backstory for it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that plays a lot with it too, and you can kind of just tell when somebody explains or breaks down how they got the joke.
Yeah. I remember I heard that he was like, I saw that interview. He was like, yeah, man, he's over here stealing my jokes, stuff like that. Like the rush, I heard the whole thing, and so like sometimes there's this thing called parallel thinking, like this parallel thinking of where people think of the same shit like over and over. Like I remember me and my homie Daoud Neymar, we both had jokes that were exact same premise, but like I hadn't seen him. We used to hang out and stuff like that. The funny thing about it, we was dating 2 chicks and they were like best friends, so we would just see each other like, hey, and we'd be like hanging out, and then we both ended up doing like a tall chicks joke, or not a tall chicks, like short chicks love tall guys, and then we just both talked about that kind of a premise, and then so I remember I really started saying it when I was in Santa Barbara. And then I had came back up to the Bay in 2017, and I see him on stage, and he's doing the exact same joke. And I'm just like, I ain't seen this fool in 3 years, so I know he didn't steal it. But then also he's tall, I'm tall, so it's just kind of, I'm like, all right. So I flipped it and was just like, I like to date tall women because they're single. So, and then I flipped it and going like that, like instead of going like the same thing, I was like, I'm gonna just talk about tall women, how they struggle is out here. So that's why I flipped it with that. But yeah, it's, and then, because sometimes like parallel thinking is a thing. Like I remember one time a homie of mine accused me. He was like, I was like, you know what would be funny? Like I was like just randomly thinking. I was like, imagine if you was on a date and like you was on a date and you was talking to a female and it took as long to respond in person as they do in text. And I was like, you be like talking like, hey, how you doing? And then like 3 minutes later, hey, you like, what the fuck is going on? This is weird. Like kind of shit like that. I was like, you know how stupid that would be? He's like, yeah, that's funny. Super funny. I wrote that joke a week ago and I performed at the open mic. And I was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, are you trying to steal my joke, Corde? And I was just like, in my head, I didn't tell him this, but I was like, dude, I don't fucking watch your set when you up there. Like, I don't watch your set. I don't listen.
Don't flatter yourself.
Yeah, because he was new. So then I was like, I'll be like on my phone. And sometimes I'll be putting my headphones in too. Because what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to hear some like newer comic stuff because some of this shit be trash. And they'd be like, and they get me off my mind. I'm like, where the fuck you going with this joke? And I'm like, oh. So you at open mic, you trying to do on your stuff. So it like kind of hindered me. So I was like, and I was like, I wonder if I should still do that joke. And I haven't like done it in like hella long, but because it's just a throwaway. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll let you have it. He's like, nah, it's okay, you can do it. And he's like, no, but that's my joke. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he never did that joke again. And I was like, dude, you get hassle me, but you never did it again. And I was just like, huh. And then I started thinking, I'm like, hey, did I hear him? But I was like, no. Because specifically when he goes up on stage, I don't listen most of the time. So
don't flatter yourself.
Yeah. So it was like, so it was one of those. But yeah, because sometimes what it is with younger comics, you kind of model yourself and you kind of like early on, people used to tell me I used to sound like Kevin Hart. Like my homies used to tell me I said Kevin Hart because specifically I would listen to him on Pandora all the time. Mm-hmm. So sometimes like
shout out to Pandora.
Shout out to Pandora. That's how long ago this was.
If you know.
Yeah. And sometimes his voice gets in your psyche. You start sounding and acting like them, like even like the mannerisms and stuff. So like that'll happen. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And then so I had to stop listening to Pandora to stop sounding like Kevin Hart and really just sound like myself and really just like kind of things like that. But so like Trevor Noah might have looked up to Russell Peters, and sometimes younger comics look up to people who are doing well on the scene. Like
so that leads me into the question that I had for you is like, what is who's your biggest inspiration in comedy? And do you like, now that you're like well into like a career, or do you still like look up to certain people for inspiration?
Patrice O'Neal, of course. Patrice O'Neal,
one of the goats.
One of the goats. Especially he's a big dude, gap, and then he's got a lot of he holds women accountable, which I love.
He holds everybody accountable, right?
Like in dating. So like I love that shit. And like so I remember I was trying to grasp and like talk about certain stuff like that. But it was me going back to going the opposite direction of what you see. Like I'd always hear like women shitting on dudes about everything. And I was like, I want to talk about how bad women are at things too and acknowledge it. Like women always say dudes are bad at sex. And I'm like, so none of y'all are bad at sex? Like we're all bad at sex. None of you are bad. No one?
How are you contributing to this?
The whole women population is not bad at sex. It's just all us? And I'm like, let's think about that. Like, so not one of you just lay there. I was like, imagine you laying there. I was like, and then I was talking about how like I see why missionary Like it's great for you, but it sucks for us because we're putting all the work in. I was like, imagine a chick is telling you, and like first off, she just laying there and she's like, right, and then like she tells you after laying there the whole time, not moving, yeah, he's not good at sex. Like, bitch, fuck you. You didn't even do anything. Right?
Like, you ain't even try.
And then I was talking about, I was like, missionary is like one of the like simplest positions because like I'm doing all the work, I'm thrusting. Like I remember I talked about like premature ejaculation. Like missionary is one of the worst positions for a dude who premature ejaculates, right? Because one, he's doing everything, so he's like literally moving. Like so, like that's why they come around. I was like, what you need to do, you need to flip it over, you need to get on top. And then I would say that, and so many chicks like was like argue with me. She's like, you know how hard it is to get on top? I got bad knees. I don't feel cool up here. Like,
so what you're saying is you're bad at sex.
Yeah. So it was like all this like excuses. And I was like, my knees can't go that far. I don't look good in this lighting. Like I just feel uncomfortable up here. And I did it. It was I was at a show in Oakland. It was funny because I remember I said this. I was like, when we talking about the dudes aren't good at sex, and it was like, what, yada yada, and then I was like, I remember I got on, I asked, we switched positions, I told the chick to get on top, and she lasted, this dude said 5 seconds. I was like, this motherfucker he know right here. And this chick was like, I was like 8 seconds, and this one chick was like, what? She's like, that's not true. I was like, that is true. She's like, no. I was like, you think I'm lying? And she's like, you're just not good at sex. I was like, hey, if you want to find out, we can go some rounds. And then started laughing, but it's one of those. It's one of those topics because you'd always hear, had sex with a dude, didn't come, and I'm like, hey, bitch, we don't come either. Like, sometimes dude, like when a dude, you have sex with a dude and you wonder why he didn't call you back, it's because you're not good. Like, okay, I got it. Wasn't it? Like, I've been chasing you forever. So
you got my shit going soft. Man.
Yeah. So, right. And then like, so Kevin Hart, right? So Kevin Hart's another inspiration just because listen to him all the time, doing a bunch of stuff, and then also he went from like super stand-up comedian to doing all this kind of stuff, acting and things like that. Nowadays, my favorite comedians right now are Roy Wood Jr., who's on the Daily Show now on CNN. Lil Rel, I saw him in Austin, Texas.
He
had me fucking dying, dude. Fucking crazy as shit. And then Ali Sadiq, the best storyteller in the game right now. And then Adam Ray, who's a homie of mine. He white guy. He just got a Netflix special where he played Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil was there at the taping, and then like they interacted at the Comedy Store. And then Nate Bargatze, because he's a white dude and he's a clean comedian, but you don't know what's clean.
How you feel about Ralph Barbosa? He's like an up and comer.
Oh no, Ralph is dope. I met him too. Super cool dude, super chill. So yeah, I'm like, Ralph is dope as hell. What's the other guy who I just fucking just saw? Matt Rife. He's dope.
Yeah, Matt Rife.
Like he's dope as hell. People be shitting on Matt Rife, and like I remember I went to his show, and I'm be honest, I didn't think he was like the funniest person, right? But it was sold out. He sold out 2 shows that night. But then also my homie told me, who was like a fan of his, he was like, he just dropped his special last week, and I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So this material I'm hearing and I'm watching right now is still very new. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's not at its apex right now, because he's still working on it. You can't just drop a special and have like a whole new hour of just your best shit. That's this. I'm like, oh, okay. Then that put me in my comedy mind. I'm like, oh, this ain't his top shit yet, but in 6 months, all this will be bomb. Yeah. Because then you got the experience of like, I'm selling out all these, and that's when he announced that big sold out tour that he did. I was like, I saw like the first leg of it, like, or probably like the week prior to the whole thing getting announced. So I'm like, probably by the end of that tour, those jokes is hidden. Those jokes are fire because you doing probably like 70 cities. So then by that time you got the repetition.
Hella reps.
Hella reps. You know, like this thing here, you thought of this thing. So it's all that. Like you got the hour. Now you got a fucking like jigsaw puzzle. Mm-hmm. Now it's complete. So yeah.
It becomes like muscle memory after a certain point too, right?
Yeah, so they launched that special at the end of that tour.
Yeah, and then he did a special at the end of the tour too. So on top of that too. So which is hella funny too. And I remember
No, I'm asking like, so is it the special dropped and then the tour came for that special? Or is it you do that tour, refine your jokes, and then you usually record that special?
Record the special at the end of the tour.
At the end?
That's how you do it. Because it's like, we ain't gonna record it up top because fucking up. Or it's just not gonna hit like it was. So he had dropped a YouTube special first too. He had dropped a YouTube special, and then like, I think it was like 5-6 months later, he dropped the Netflix special.
Got you.
So then that's like a whole nother thing of just putting out constant material of things. And it's just like, dude, like, okay, fuck, like, how much work was you putting in? Like, how much? I think of like, how many open mics was you hitting, or how much like comedy clubs were you hitting that, like, kind of like, hey, I'm trying new jokes out, put your phones away, stuff like that. And that's why a lot of comedians nowadays ask people to put their phones away. They was like, oh, they don't want to get canceled. Now, a lot of times is they don't want these jokes leaked and possibly canceled, but they're really just working on new material, and they got to deal with like like a Netflix or like a Hulu or something like that, where we're supposed to be the ones to release this stuff. We don't want to see this on the internet. So, and then if you see a joke that you're working on, you got to throw away like that whole premise.
Yeah. Oh, damn, you do?
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, well, so we saw this drop on the internet about 3 months ago. People already kind of like, so like, or you kind of refine it or kind of work your way around it. So it's all that kind of stuff. But that's usually what it is, because, if a joke hit, like, so if you saw a joke 3 months ago, you hear it again, like, I kind of heard this before. You don't get the best reaction to. So, yeah.
So is doing like a special on whatever the medium is, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, is that kind of the apex goal for most stand-up comedians? Like, I would imagine, like, from the outside looking in, I would think, like, if I was a comedian, that's something that would make me nervous. Like, doing that, like, you were just talking about how 15 to 20 minutes feels like an eternity. Yeah. You doing a 90-minute special, you going up there for 90 minutes. Yeah. That has to be like a whole different beast.
Well, also, I don't think no one should do a 90-minute special nowadays, because the attention span and stuff like that I was talking about, it's like way too long. Also, if you think about a 90-minute special, that's 2 specials. You think about it. Like, I started watching Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart was putting out 45 to 50-minute specials, right? So let's say you do a 90-minute special. To him, that's 2 specials right there. Mm-hmm. So let's cut that up, and then you can drop this one like right now, and then in a year drop the next one, and then by that time, like it was really one special, long ass one. And then between now and then you've been working on new material and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then you drop the next special, and I'm like, oh shit, it's another hit special. Now knowing that people didn't know that this is like a year old, or you've been working up to like since like June to do this, right? Yeah. And then like now you touring, and then you go back on the road again, and you work on this new material, and then January come, and you got this whole new refined shit, and you come like this tour, like, yo, how does he get all these refined jokes? Like, how does he do it? So like, because I've been working on this material for like the last year and a half. Yeah. So dropping a special, I don't think dropping a special is everybody's thing. Getting a Netflix special, because that's like the big one. Like you get like a good bag for it. The goal, I think, is just to do comedy full time and pay all your bills through comedy, and then where it's not like everything's tight, like paying your bills with comedy comfortably. Mm-hmm. And then get the Netflix special, kind of a thing. But the Netflix special can help you catapult to having that happen. But yeah,
because you hear a lot of comedians talk about their come up. A lot of comedians that are big and famous now, like some of my favorites, Bill Burr. Yep. This might be controversial, but Louis C.K.
How's that controversial?
It's Louis C.K. He's one of the goats. Yeah. Obviously Dave Chappelle. Yeah. And like you said, Kevin Hart. Anytime you hear them talk about like,
Russell Peters, man,
Russell Peters is great too. Yeah. But him included. Like whenever you hear them talk about their come up or before they were actually like big and famous, it was a lot of struggle, bro. They had to like have like a certain mindset of I'm gonna lock in no matter how many L's and how much shit comes my way. I'm gonna keep going.
The difference is too. Not even cut you off. Everybody that you named too made it prior to the social media era.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So kind of talk about like what some of those struggles are as like a comic that's kind of trying to make a name for himself, and what do you think is the formula to getting your name out there? Is it going viral? Is it?
Yeah, it's going viral. The hard thing right now, because I got a day job, I teach during the day, and then so like right after that, I usually go hit open mics or go to shows. Like yesterday, I got off at 4:30. I left the house at 5:45, so I was barely home for like an hour, and like already thinking like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to the Improv because the show's at 7:30, not at 7. So it's like little stuff like that. So like that's a grind in itself of where like, hey, like most people just go like, it's Friday, I'm cool, I'm relaxed, got the rest of the night. Like no, I'm off. Now I'm going to my second passion, my second dream.
How bad do you really want it?
Yeah, exactly. And then you just kind of. I still remember a homie of mine asked me, it was like 2019. I remember this was fall 2019. And we had it was like a third week of teaching. And he was like, hey, so what you about to do? He's like, I'm about to go home, hang out with like my girl and the kids and stuff like that. He said, what you about to do? I was like, I'm about to drive 4 hours to St. Louis Obispo to do a show. He's like, what? He was like, you're not gonna be tired? I was like, I am gonna be tired, but hey, dude, this is I want it. This is my dream. So I mean, this is over. Yeah. Like this part of my day is over. now I'm chasing my other passion, my other dream. I was like, so I'm gonna go up here, grab some food. I was like, my tank is already full. I got some clothes on the back, and yeah, I'm about to go chase that. And then that's the second, that's the grind too. And then when I got to the place too, it was packed. Bro. It was fucking packed.
It was worth the trip.
It was worth the fucking trip. It was so dope too.
Got to be a good feeling walking into that.
Yeah. Because I was like, all right, and I saw these people outside. I was like, is this the right fucking place? And there's a picture I took of it on Facebook, and it doesn't do it justice. Like, there's like 20 people outside looking into the venue to like watch the show. And then there's like a ton of people, like there's like people sitting down. There's like a ton of people over in the area. Like probably had, honestly, 110 people in this packed out brewery. Yeah. And I'm just like, but if you look at it, you can probably see like 40 people. And I'm like, nah, there's like people sitting over here that's kind of stacked them on top of each other. There's people standing along the brewery. Like, I think they probably made so much money that night. Probably oversold everything. Probably emptied out all the fucking kegs or some shit at the brewery. Because it was just a ton of people there. And then like they had like outside laughing. It was like crazy like to see like happening like this. And I was like, yo, this is dope.
Hey, kind of going back to the whole like you know what I mean? Like you kind of mentioned it too, like the social media aspect of it. Yeah. You starting comedy in 2010. Did you get like like how'd I put this? Kind of like us being 95 babies, right? Mm-hmm. Like we still got the experience of going over to the homie's house, knocking on the door, calling the house. You know what I mean? Hey, is this person here? All that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then it was through our like adolescence and young adulthood that it went completely into where we are right now with technology. As far as like coming up in comedy, did you get to experience like what the old heads got to experience as far as doing shows, grinding out that way, or did you come in right when making it online? Like Vine was popping. I know it, like, you know what I mean, 2012, 2013, like that lane of comedy, what DC Young Fly did and shit like that.
So I didn't know how to do none of that stuff. So yeah, I definitely experienced like the old head way of doing it. And it wasn't until kind of like more recently where people started going viral off like stand-up clips. Because before that, everybody was like, don't put your clips online because you're throwing away all your material. And like even like as a young comic, I would do that. I was sending like clips of my old stand-up and everybody was like, you say like a lot. I'm like, okay, well I gotta harness this so I'm not saying like as much. And yeah, so it was just, but it was hard. Like, so when I went to UC Santa Barbara, it was 2014, 2015, right? The first part of it. And back when having 80,000 followers or 100,000 followers was like having 600,000 followers, having like, damn, like I remember when, I forget who it was, but I think it was like Kim Kardashian or somebody like Miley Cyrus when like they first crossed like 1 million. Yeah, that was like a huge thing because you couldn't get that many people like so soon. Yeah. Now it's kind of
it was like so early you can't just buy bots.
Exactly, you couldn't buy bots, so it was like super hard. So like so these are core people paying attention to you. Like having 30,000 was probably like having 200,000 now. Yeah. So like it's really like a thing. So I'm still trying to like get better with that. Like I'm like kind of doing certain aspects. And the crazy thing about it too is like, right, I was on to something without knowing I was on to something. Like I used to post all the time, doing funny stuff or just thinking like this meme is funny, or do like a random video that I thought was funny because I would see like other people, content creators was doing that. So I kind of like try to do like funny stuff. Like I was never into skits, but I was always thinking like some random funny jokes or something like that. And then people's like, dude, you be blowing up my news feed or you just be posting all the stuff. But I would get like likes and I would get like a few followers from it. So I was like, hey, doing this consistently gets me likes and follows. I love to like post like 2 or 3 things at once and then come back and I see my phone has like 100 likes. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is dope. And now I get like 4 to 5 new followers, some shit like that.
I fuck with the reaction type videos that you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like nowadays, especially with like the streaming and everything, like that's finding that medium. You know what I mean? Finding that lane, especially as like a comic. At the end of the day, you're like your own individual brand, so you gotta like give people a reason to constantly going back to the attention span. It's more of like, what have you done for me lately type of thing. You know what I mean? And
I only do 30-second videos for a reason too. Like, cause I see some videos that go really well and they're like a minute and a half, and I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna keep this short to 30 seconds. Cause sometimes I be looking at the algorithm or my homies look at it and they be like, oh, this people stop watching after like 10 seconds or 15 seconds. So I'm like, what's the point of doing a minute video, and then people stop watching it, like, because sometimes people, I think honestly, they see that it's long, you know, like, or be like Instagram, like, do you want to keep watching? And they be like, oh nah, how long is this shit? Like, so if you keep it short, before you know it, it's just kind of like, oh okay, that was cool, and then you be like, oh okay, that was cool, okay, that was cool. Before you know it, they didn't watch the whole video, not knowing. But if it was like, oh damn, this is long, kind of a thing, like, even if it's like super funny, you kind of have to sign up for that. So yeah, and even with the the reaction stuff, I remember I messed up because about a year ago I started seeing a bunch of my homies popping off because they was doing stand-up clips. So I stopped doing my reaction stuff and started doing stand-up clips. Yeah. And it like reset my algorithm, and only like 1 to 2 videos like popped off. And I was like, and it was like, bro, why you not doing the green screen stuff? People kept telling me, why you not doing it? I was like, oh man, because I'm trying to do clips. I feel like that's the way to go. And then, you know, so yeah. And it's like, nah, but that green screen stuff was funny. And I was like, it was funny, and it only took me like 30 seconds to do it. Like, I would just literally sit in my car, let it warm up, and then I would just do like 5 videos in the time for my car to warm up. Yeah. So it really was like no hassle for me. And I was like, I should have just kept doing it, because like our stuff was like popping. Like, oh, okay, this one got 10,000 views. This one got 30,000 views. This one got. I was like, yeah, but I'm like chasing 1 million, and I was instead of just like chasing like consistency. Yeah. And then I remember I posted one, it did cool. Then I posted another one, did cool. And then I think my 3rd or 4th one, that one ended up hitting like 1 million.
Damn.
So I was just like, it's like, damn it. No, I should have stuck with this shit. Like, I remember the one video they hit 1 million was last summer. Yeah, it was not this past summer, but the year before. Damn, okay. And I randomly just recorded it. I was in Washington. I was in Medford at my hotel, and I was like, I haven't done some videos in a while. Let me record some videos. So I did like 4 videos, and I think it was like the second to last video I did. And then I remember I stopped. I was like, let me redo this. And I re-recorded it, and I was like, damn, hopefully that wasn't that bad. I was like, damn, this is probably going to be trash. I shouldn't post this. And I was like, nah, post it. What's the worst you can do? Because I heard the AC in the background. I heard it, but it didn't really pick up on the audio. So I just like did it, posted it. I think I left my phone there just because I didn't want to be bothered, because I know it's going to be kept staring at it. And then went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with the headliner. And then I come back, and then it's just like, your video has 10,000 views. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, actually it was like, no, it hit 50, it hit 100 likes. And then I went to sleep. Okay, cool. So then it was like, then I really didn't see nothing. And then I woke up in the morning, and it was like, oh, your video has 4,000 likes. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wait, 4,000 likes. And then I waited a little bit longer, and it says your video has 10,000 views. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. And then it just kept popping from there.
That's what's up.
So then, and then eventually when I stopped, it eventually hit 1 million. I think it was like a month and a half later. So yeah, that was cool.
What is your least favorite part about pursuing comedy as a career? I know it's a passion, but there has to be something that you don't enjoy about it too, right?
Oh, having a day job, and you can't just like, you know, and you can't just pursue comedy full time. Also sometimes with comedy, it takes up a lot of my time. So sometimes dating is harder. Mm-hmm. But I just always feel like the one who really rocks with me, who really is for me, will understand that that I'm really chasing something. I'm like, I got a shirt that says "Chasing a Dream." So yeah, so it's real, but it's funny too, because this is the funny thing. I gotta start talking about, because like doing podcasts like this, I like talking, so it helps me come up with ideas of jokes that I was like half thought out, and I start making it into a joke. Like, I'll try to hit up chicks to try to come over or hang out with them at 10 or 10:30. Mm-hmm. They think I'm just trying to fuck, and actually I'm just like, no. I just left a show. I'm gonna be up for the next 3 hours. Yeah. Are you trying to kick it? Like, you know, kind of a thing. Like, oh, you never make time for me. I'm like,
I'm making time right now.
Yeah, I'm making time right now.
Like, time I have.
Yeah, like I'm very like spur of the moment type of thing. And some chicks be like, oh no, I like shit planned out. But you know, sometimes.
But see, the difference is like you in the entertainment space. Like, you know what I mean? It's the same thing for me, bartending. You know what I mean? Like I get off of work at like 2, 3 in the morning. Yep. So it's one of those like. I'm free now. You know what I mean? I'm off the clock.
Like hit me up when you free, and I'm like, well, right now I'm up, and I see you up.
Because then it's one of those like during the week and shit. It's like middle of the day. I got shit to do. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those like I definitely feel you. Fitting in the schedule is different.
Fitting in the schedule, and then like some chicks be like, why do you like to do shit like last minute? And I'm like, because I thought I had a show, it just got canceled. So now my show was supposed to be at 7:30 or 8. It's 5. I have the rest of my night open. and I'm trying to hit you up right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna just go to open mic at 8.
So let me know.
So like, let me know. Like, and like, oh well, I don't know. I'd rather have shit planned out. Okay, cool. And like, and then it's whatever. Or I go to the movies or some shit, and I'm like, okay. Like I remember a few times I'm like, hey, you trying to go to the movies? Like, oh, if I go to the movies, like we can't talk, we can't be intimate. And I'm like, we can have a discussion about the movie afterwards. But like for me, like I never understand that girls be like, oh, you can't talk in the movies, which is true. And sometimes you don't be trying to talk to them or something like that, or you just like real talk. Sometimes you just trying to cuddle with somebody like next to you that have that company. Yeah, like I'm a big quality time person. Yeah. So like we're not talking, but I'm spending time with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like hey, like we ain't gotta.
So we could discuss the movie after.
We can discuss the movie after. Like it'd be crazy because like oh the movie stuff like this, get something to eat, and like sometimes you be kind of iffy on some chicks. Like I'll be honest, this is a podcast, so sometimes some chicks you just trying to fuck. All right, some chicks you just trying to fuck, and you ain't trying to take them out to eat. You take them to the movies just so you can like get a little more intimate and then go from there, right? Because sometimes I meet chicks up for the first time. And I like to go to the movies all the time. So like it'd be like, if they cancel, like, are you not going to the movies? Like, no, I'm still fucking going. Like it's right by my house. It's like 5 minutes away. Like fuck, now I ain't got to drive to you. And some chicks like want you to wine and dine them, and you be like, nah, you ain't worth all that. So it's super funny. Like I kind of want to go to like the BBW kind of situation where like like body positivity gave like ugly chicks too high standards, like all of a sudden, like you're not this, like, cause I'm like, I do like big girls, like, but it's like cute big girls, like cute face, big titties, or like hips, like ass, some shit like that. Like those big girls are just like chicks who was thick and just got thicker. Yeah, but then it'd be like
naturally thick girls,
naturally thick girls. But then be ones who were like I call them like built like boxes. They got like no titties, no ass, faces. I be trying to like, hey, so I want you to take me out. I want you to do. I'm like, hey, girl, no, that's girlfriend relationship stuff. Like I don't see you like that. Like I'm not
built
trying
like
to
boxes is crazy.
Because it's true. Because like.
You're not wrong.
Because sometimes chicks who you normally don't date try to pursue you, and you be like, sometimes I'll do this. I will like give her like, oh, okay, well she seemed cool to me. Give her a chance. She hits me up consistently. Let me see if, and then I'll be like, no, I'm not gonna go. Because it's me like realizing I'm like, oh no, I'm not really into this chick like that. She's into me more than I'm into her. And I'm like, I start realizing like, hey, not everybody deserves your time. Because like if I'm like chasing this dream, like I'm really not gonna be like, all right, this chick who I'm like kind of iffy on because I'm really not like into them like physically, but they were like really hounding me to really go out. I'm like, me saying no is doing both of us a favor.
100%.
Because if I go out with you, you're gonna be thinking like, oh, he's really into me. He's kind of doing something. And then the whole time I'm just like, damn,
we just wasting each other's time at that point.
Yeah, I'm like, I could have went to an open mic. I could have did a show. I could have like, and then like now they trying to be like all up on me. And then I always say like the universe kind of reminds you of like what your type is. Yeah. Because I'll go out with a chick who I'm kind of like, I think she cool. Like, talking yourself up into it. And then literally I'll see the girl who normally I date right there out. Like, I'm like, that's my type right there. Like I'm like, then you look at him like, now I'm mad at you for going out with you when my type was like right there. I'm like, and then I be kind of
your type looking at you like
exactly insecure.
That's
like
not your type.
Like what? I'm like, now so I be kind of insecure on dates too, because I be like, you give a chick like a shot and you be thinking like, this not really my type, but she seemed cool, and then she not your type, and then now I'm like, I'm playing myself. Because she's not really your type. Now she's trying to be on you, trying to hug up, and he's like, oh, no, we're not.
Feel like a forced situation all around.
Yeah. Why are we not doing this? So, and they're like, well, why were you so weird? I'm like, nah, I wasn't being weird. I'm nervous. I'm shy, I'll say, for instance, like one time I met up with this chick and like she kind of catfished me, but it was she catfished me in a way, like, not that she was super ugly, but she was bigger than what she looked. But then it was weird because she catfished me in two ways, right? She catfished me. It looked like she was taller than what she was. When she's actually 5'4". So I'm thinking she's like this, but she's actually like shorter, right? But then the crazy thing about it was she catfished me because her boobs was a lot bigger than what she was showing in her pictures. So I'm thinking this is going to be like one of those big girls, like smaller boob. Like I thought she was going to be a tall chick, small boob, very skinny, stuff like that, right? But she was actually kind of shorter, but her face was still cute and her boobs was huge. I'm like, I could work with this. Yeah. But then I was getting upset because I'm just like, why didn't you show me what you looked like completely? So then I start feeling away. I'm like, are you insecure about yourself? I'm like, now I'm thinking like, And then she was like upset with me. She's like, Corde, you was feeling like you was being super weird. You was being like, nah, touching it, but then you kind of was. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'll say she's cute, but she not. But I was like, but why is she not like kind of a like it looked like she had like triple D or some like huge like tits like in person.
She had the milk juice.
Right? But on the photos, like they was just like looked like she had like B cups. Mm-hmm. So this chick is big, like oh, dang, like she like so it was a weird thing. Like the whole time I was with her, I was just like, I thought she was gonna be 5'11". She's actually 5'4".
That goes back to the whole internet dating. You know what I mean? You never know who somebody is.
Yeah,
you
never know in real life, bro.
So it was interesting, and I remember I was talking to my homies about it. He was like, "Nah, bro, she's cute." I was like, "No, this is not what she looks like. This is what she's portraying." I was like, and then it was where I was like, "Hey yo, I was like, hey yo, send me a body picture of you, right?" But she was sitting down, and I was like, the fuck is this? Because he was like going like this,
angles,
but she's sitting down, and I'm just like.
You know what she doing.
You know what you doing. Like stop it. And she's like, why were you acting?
Send me the picture that I want you to send me.
Like, why are you acting weird? And I was like, because you're sitting down in this position. Like, you're sitting down to hide this area right here, right? Like, your legs are super skinny, but like this area is not. But then like you have huge boobs, so I can work with that.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, like, why are you not showing what you really look like?
Yeah.
What are your insecurities that now are mixing with my insecurities on this whole situation? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, let's unpack this.
So it was a lot of unpacking. And she got mad at me. She was like, you act like you was too good to be around me. You act like kind of stuff. And I didn't want to say like, well, I like the fact that you look tall, but in all your photos, you never show me your full body. And I'm like, you look perfectly fine the way you are, but I felt tricked once I got there, so I didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
But then you were still cool, and I still realized you were still actually cute, and actually you are my type. But I was still on the standpoint of like, she tricked me this whole time.
Yeah.
So it was like a weird mix. It was
that
like
deception is in your head.
Yeah.
Like,
It was like I thought you was 5'11", you're 5'4", but I thought you was 5'11" with small boobs. You're actually 5'4" with huge boobs, and you're still pretty cute. But like your face is a little chubby, but I can work with that.
Yeah.
So I'm like playing with this. Like, I'm getting under. Like I'm coming to bat with the fact that you're not 5'11", super tall, super skinny, and coming to the realization you're 5'4", big titties, and still cute. But it was like unpacking that while on a date.
Now that's what not even to cut you off, but like you know how women say. He gave me the ick.
Yeah.
That's the male version of that.
Yeah.
Bro sniffed out insecurity that didn't even need to be there in the first place. If you fine, but you don't know it and you're insecure about it, that's 100% a red flag for me too. Bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
now
why
let
you
me
doing
ask you this about that 5'11". Was that now the image that you had in your head? Was that just based off assumptions of what you saw in the picture?
Yeah.
I feel that.
And then every time it was always like picture like it would be like here up. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So and then like all the pictures like I have really long legs. Like so I don't know short chicks with like long legs. So I'm like, okay, you're tall. And then a picture
be at least 5'7".
Right.
Yeah.
Something at 5'7", 5'8", or something like that. Like, okay, cool. Like her face like very like slimming and stuff like, oh, like, okay. So I'm like mapping out what her body looks like.
It's like a midget being like, yeah, I got some tall feet.
So I'm mapping out like in my head. I'm putting the pieces together from what you sent me.
Yeah.
You look tall. You're presenting yourself as tall. I'm like, send me, like, what are you drinking? And like, she sent me a picture and like, I see like skinny legs. I'm okay. She got skinny legs. Okay, that means she's not big. Yeah. But I'm like, she must be big if you never send me like a full body picture of you. Yeah. And then so I'm just like, what are your insecurities? Also, she was like 40 or something. What are your insecurities at 40 where you can't send me stuff like you send me pictures of your friend with your daughter? But like, well, send me a picture with you and your daughter. And I was like, oh no. I'm like, take a selfie, and everything was sitting down. Like, imagine just sitting down on the ground, just like going like this, and I'm just like. What? Like something's wrong. So yeah.
Internet dating, man.
Yeah.
That's why you got to go to Target.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah. So man,
all the hoes be at Trader Joe's. Bro.
It's funny because like I'm like a hopeless romantic too at the same time. So it's kind of like I want to get off internet dating all the time, but I always think my next swipe could be my next wife, or it could be like could be the one, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like I'm trying to stay positive and like, but I'm constantly getting let down. Yeah. And then people talk about you got to go to Target, you got to go to this place. And like, I'm like, hey, you can still get ghosted in person.
Low key.
Like, you're like, hey, how you doing? And she's like,
and that shit's even worse.
And she's like, cool.
The slow turn,
right?
bro.
Then,
the move in the cart.
On a dating app, She just didn't respond. You could try again in 2 days, right? Yeah. In person, you ain't gonna just keep tapping her like, hey, no, that was rude, ma'am, that was rude. I'm
trying to talk to you.
Hey, can you turn back around so I can get a little bit of my self-esteem back? Like, you know.
But see, that's how you get the reps though. Not like with the same person over and over, but in real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that I see, like you can see it in, you know what I mean? Because I'm in a social job.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with hundreds of interactions on a weekly basis. Yeah. So seeing the people that like, oh damn, you got game online. Like you could just tell how they interact with females, how they interact amongst each other. You know what I mean? Versus like, oh, this person's just naturally funny. Yeah. And those people have like even those people though, sometimes to flip the other side of the coin. But aren't as like, you know what I mean, well versed tech like on the internet, or, you know what I mean? Because they rely, because sometimes you got to rely on emotion to tell the joke off, or you know what I mean. Your sarcasm isn't going to be caught in text unless the person knows you.
Yeah, like sometimes I've noticed like I come off very like dry in text conversations. Sometimes I'm just tired. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it, and I'm like short. But I'm like in person. Like,
whole different energy.
Whole different energy. Whole different person. Like I'm like it's like cool, cracking jokes. Like instantly got that connection. Like oh, you know, let's talk on the phone. Let's see if we got that. Let's meet in person. We got that same connection. And I hate it because I've been on like a few dates where like I talked to the girl for hours and that shit went nowhere. And I'm like, girl, I could have just been at home sleeping. But I went on this 3-hour date with you.
Doing all the heavy lifting.
Doing all the heavy lifting. We was having a good conversation. Okay. It was like actually feel like it was going somewhere. Nothing after that. And I'm like, hey, what happened? Now you in the like, well, what happened? Did I say something wrong? But I'm like, we talked for 4 hours. How did I say something wrong? We was like planning the next thing. So
she just ghosted.
Ghosted.
Yeah.
Just ghosted. And then I was thinking last night, I was like, we need to change the topic of ghosting. Because I think of Casper the Friendly Ghost. And he died, but stuck around and went on adventures. Yeah. She disappeared. Like what do you call that? Like, it's that like she casketed me. Like what happened? She died in 6 feet under. Like she never come back. She never come back. Like tombstone me. Like she just stand there in one place and we ain't never going, or you know, something. But I'm like, yeah, because ghosts still come around. Ghosts be haunting you. Versus like they around. She disappeared. You know, like you vaporized.
That shit do be having you question a lot because everybody's been there, bro. You have like a dope connection, but then like you don't hear from them again.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? I'll be honest, like, and obviously something I'm working on, but like I've been a ghoster like a motherfucker. You feel me? Yeah. So like seeing it from that side of the coin, it's just one of those. It's like sometimes you just mentally not there, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? At least for me, sometimes like I gotta disappear because if shit gets too real for me, in a situation that I wasn't initially thinking it was about to be this real, I just gotta disappear, just get my get my game back, get my swag back. Like, yo, what am I doing real quick?
Am I ready for all this?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I've done that a few times and then wonder why the chick that stopped talking to me. like, hey, let's hang out again. And they were like, and then they just ignore the message.
Bro,
and I'm
like, what in person? Like, what up?
Why we can't hang out again? And they don't say nothing, but I know why. But I'm just kind of wait for them to bring it up and then explain what happened. Because that'd be real. Because sometimes you'd be like, you know, especially with me with comedy, like sometimes I've avoided, or that's what it is sometimes. I've avoided, like, this could possibly be serious, but you live far. Yeah. So if you live far, which is an hour or over an hour, that this might be hard for me to maintain because me constantly going to where you are might not be where shit is at. Or like I'm like dividing up time when I could be pursuing this other thing that I really want to pursue. And that's what always comes down. Sometimes I ghost because I'm like, fuck, I feel like you might take me away from my career.
Yeah, logistically it makes sense too.
Like, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Like, even though like everything I meant in the moment was real, I'm just like, fuck, I don't know if I can stay with this long term. And so sometimes I ghost because that, like, because that's a deep ass conversation that you don't want to have with somebody. Yeah. Like, you know, no, I see this could go somewhere, but I feel like if it does, you will take me away from my dream.
And that's real.
So
it's just sometimes it is easier to ghost.
It's just easier to ghost. Especially because I remember one time I told somebody in person, like, I see why they say telling somebody in person, like, the real, it's harder.
It's hella hard, bro.
It's because that's the adult thing to do, because now you like give them closure, but then at the same time they still try to fight and like try to like, well, no, man. I was like, no, I'm like, honestly, I realize you're great, you're like really like positive and everything, but I just think my dreams are like more important to me in the moment than me making this into something serious, because we will constantly be like, I'll be chasing you and like it's the opposite.
Shit, that'll damn near have her wanting you more.
Probably.
Low key.
Probably.
But having that conversation in person is very important, bro. Like you said, it's the adult thing to do. It leaves no room for interpretation.
Yeah.
Are y'all both single right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what I realized something that women do a lot of time? Women give you tests that we constantly fail.
100%. And you don't realize it until after the fact.
You don't realize it until after the fact. Like I remember this chick asked me to walk. Like I remember she was like about to leave and go to her car, and then she was like, "You can stay here with your friends. I see you want to stay here." I was like, "No, I can walk you." She's like, "No, you can stay here." Like, "No, you can stay." No, you can stay here. I see you want to be here. And then like I remember she like walked away and then looked back and it gave me like a kind of like a sad look. And I was like, "What was that?" And I realized it was something. And then she texted me like 15 minutes later, like, "I just got to my car." I was like, "Your car was that far?" I was like, "I would have fucking walked you." And I was like, and then the next day it comes up, "I don't think it's gonna work out because it seemed like you want to be with your friends more than you want to be with me."
You didn't fight for me.
And I was like, "You didn't fight for me." I was like, honestly, I left 10 minutes after you left because 1, you wasn't there no more. 2, I was tired. 3, I'm gonna see my friends probably again like this weekend because it was at a comedy club. And then she's like, "No, I just feel like this won't last like long term." And then I'm like, I started realizing women give you these tests that most of us will fail because we don't know it's a test. Mm-hmm. But also
we don't realize it in the moment. It's happening.
But also I realize women fail a lot of our tests too. Like how many times have y'all been texting a woman and then sometimes y'all don't text her to see if she texts you first to see like if it's mutual interest. And then like chicks be like, "Why you ain't hit me up?" And I'm like, "Cause you never text me." Like I'm trying to see if it's mutual or do I always have to start the conversation up?
I can't be the initiator all the time.
All the time.
You know what I mean?
I can't be the initiator all the time.
Yeah, you can't.
Because 9 times out of 10, I'm moving a lot, bro. So it's one of those like me already texting, I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
So if I'm going out of my way, then after a while, you're just like, bro, I'm the only person. Yo, I'm doing the most.
I'm doing everything.
You know what I mean?
I'm doing the most in this relationship, and I'm doing the most like in my daily routine. So it'll be like kind of hard. Like I remember a few times I'll be like, "Damn, she ain't texting me back," and like it's literally you like got a whole sentence like or half sentence that you couldn't finish because you got distracted by something else. Like, "Oh my bad, I thought I sent this." Yada yada.
But then it's like you're not about to explain like, "Oh, I got caught up in this," and you know what I mean. So it's just one of those. Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Or 2, if it happens too many times, they think you lying. 100%. And you think you don't care about.
And 9 times out of 10, you're not lying, bro. Like being in entertainment, like it's sporadic, it's random, like you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. That's just the life it is.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you probably get it a lot. Like people want to fuck with you and that lifestyle, but then once they get to know that lifestyle, it's like, "Oh, I'm cool with the 9 to 5 type shit." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm cool with stability. I don't know if I could go shows random on random days. Like you're just gonna be up this time, that time.
Like it's a few times like up randomly, sometimes don't plan dates, very spur of the moment type stuff. Or like chicks like who really started to get about the life. They like I know you talking to other girls at shows, stuff like that. And I'm just like, "Babe, like
of course I am."
Like I know I am,
you figured it out.
But they have boyfriends, all right? And I'm like, "Cool." It's like, "Do you get your Instagram?" I'm like, "Of course I do." Like, why? Because I want her and her boyfriend and her friends to come to my next show. All right. Yeah. Like sometimes if I find out a chick has a boyfriend, I'm like, "Cool, even better. Is he here?" "No, he didn't come to the show." Make sure he comes to the next show. All right. So like, cause girls bring people with them.
Yeah.
So you like, or like, "Oh snap." Yeah. It's like, "So they don't be trying to flirt with you?" I was like, "This what happens." "Oh my God, you were so funny. My boyfriend would love you." I'm like, "Bring him next time," you know? But sometimes you get at chicks at shows and you get their Instagrams and he be like, "How I know you just not getting every chick and getting all the Instagrams?" I'm like, "Well, honestly, I get Instagrams for follows, but then sometimes I purposely got your Instagram to talk to you." Like, I was going like, if it just a follow, okay, that's cool. But I purposely wanted to talk to you after this night.
Yeah.
It's like, so there's no other chicks who you might want to talk to after this night. I'm like, well, we're going good. So, you know. And then sometimes,
why you worried about something?
Yeah. It's like that's their insecurity. They were like, "So you just want me getting other chicks and talk to them?" And I'm like, "No, not really." Or like sometimes like maybe, but like it was like, "What we worried about us right now?" You know. But it's one of those like if this like really going somewhere, I could just see me and you rocking.
Yeah.
But they always put on like, "So you're not talking to any other people?" And like women always want to be honest. Once you be honest with them, but they kind of don't.
Yeah.
Like, so you be like, "Are you talking to other women?" And you say no, but they be like, "I know you are." And you be like, "Okay, so if I told you I was, how would you felt?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can talk to somebody, talk to multiple dudes." Like, that's why I said no. But now I'm lying to like make you more secure.
That's the mind game, bro.
So it's the mind game.
See, the crazy thing is like one of those people want that security before anything even starts.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't give you that because I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, like, you don't have that trust yet.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that only comes with time and experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And with the hard conversation that we're avoiding.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, I mean, that's at the end of the road.
You know what's the hard conversation we're avoiding?
Yeah.
What's the hard conversation?
Like the hard. So they call it the "What are we" conversation.
Oh, what are? Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that comes after, we've gotten to know each other for X amount of months. Yeah. You can't just be expecting, security out of me.
I just met you last week. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck you mean? What are we?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I be ready like right now because I just want to like just one woman, one chick like to really just be rocking with and understand. We like just spend time, sporadic things. Like what are we? Like, oh, I'm ready. Like so what are we? Like you talking to people? Yep. But what are we? I was like, hey, I want this to be real. I want this to be, I want it to be me. I'll hit you up all the time too. And then I remember one time I explained it to a female like, so you're talking to other chicks? I was like, yes. She's like, how long have these other chicks been around? I was like, a while. It was like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to keep talking to you. And I was like, well, they've been around for a while, and none of them are my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I always have to say something. She's like, well, if they're always around, why do you keep talking to them? I was like, well, they hit me up like once every 2 days, once a week. We have a conversation. We might plan something. They probably gonna flake. But they sometimes we have a conversation for like 2 hours. Sometimes we have a conversation for like 3 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, and they around, but then like around, like I'm not actively going with them. That's why I can't take none of them serious. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so we got serious, we cut them off? Yeah. Because they ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Like this hasn't progressed nowhere.
Yeah, but it got to get serious first.
I was like, so like, oh, okay. So it's like, I'm not in real competition. It's like, not really.
Yeah.
Like you explain it, like I explained to her, it's like, oh, okay, cool. She's like, so like, let's say if they text you right now, would you respond? Am I with you? It was like, yeah, you with me. Probably not. Because I know this, like, all right, we're going to, like, why? What I'm enjoying is me and you time. I'm enjoying, like, so, nah, I ain't going to respond.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here in the moment.
Yeah, I'm here in the moment. They was like, would you respond afterwards? I'm like, maybe.
Moment's over.
But I'm like, depending on how late it is. I'm like, if we had a good time or something like that, probably not. Or maybe I might respond as I'm going to sleep. Yeah. Like, you're like, oh, hey, what's up? I didn't see your text till now. And then knock out.
Yeah, it's not going to be at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, it was like, oh, so yeah, it was like, oh, okay. So it's not like I'm constantly competing for your like attention. I was like, nah, we rocking. I like you. We're trying to make this happen. They be like, whatever, or oh, kind of cool. I was thinking about like, oh, but I'm big. And so I'm like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah. Going back to comedy, what? I know this is completely like segue. What advice would you give to somebody who's an up and coming comedian that might be watching this, or somebody who wants to pursue a career in comedy?
Hey man, so people always ask me like, they be like, yo, I'm funny. I want to try comedy. Like, should I try? I'm like, yes. Go to open mic and tell the comedians there, this is your first time going up. You kind of nervous because when you tell comedians, it's my first time, that's when comedians like get quiet and listen, because everybody remembers their first time on stage. So actually comedians are very receptive when you tell them it's your first time. Mm-hmm. We're not receptive when you're like person in the back like making a bunch of noise and like heckling us while we're on stage, because then we challenge them, like, why don't you come up here and shit like that, right? Like, okay, cool. So, but a comedian like up and coming who's like trying to like get better, I always say keep writing. It's kind of the generic bullshit that you always hear. It's like keep writing, keep going. But what it really is like it's kind of a breakdown for like, I would say it's like a 1 to 2 year period, it's a 2 to 3 year period, or like a 3 to 5 year period. 3 to 5 year period, usually like people stop doing comedy. Like, I'm kind of over this. I'm kind of like in a rut. But usually if you hit to that 3 to 5 year period, that means like you actually like, okay, I kind of see this seriously. I kind of do it. But what a homie gave me some great advice is like, when you're a new upcoming comic, try to get a solid 5 minutes at first, right? Mm-hmm. Then you like keep writing, hit up open mics, and then you try to get from that 5 minutes to a solid 10 minutes. And then you work the shit out of that 10 minutes until you get it like really good, really tight, really knitted up, right? Mm-hmm. And then you keep performing that 10 minutes forever. Not forever, but like for like a while. And then you keep writing and coming up with like a new 5 minutes, right? And you put that new 5 in between that other 10, right? And then just try to see like, all right, where's it working, stuff like that. And you start building out that new 5 into a new solid 10 to replace the old 10 and kind of stash it away. Then you rock that new 10 out for as long as possible, and then you're still writing, still going over mic, stuff like that. And you develop like a new 5. You put that new 5 in the middle of that 10 that you know is solid, and then you build out that new 5 till it gets a solid 10, right? And you rock that 10. So now you built up 20 minutes of time that you know does well every time, and you got that new 10 minutes that's doing well. And now you're at a feature set of 30 minutes. Like, can you do 30? Yes, I have 30 minutes. Like, I have this 10 that's solid, this other 10, this new 10 that's actually pretty damn good. And then that helps you become like a feature, or just be able to like, can you do 15 minutes? Like, yep, I got 2 sets. It could be like, you know, kind of a thing. So yeah, I would say rock with that, and it's like stay consistent, you know. Don't stay positive, man. That's the one thing. Don't be a hater, because like right now, I don't like to hate on people. I have my moments, or sometimes where it's more of a just people who are just bad people. Like, I don't get, like, why are you a bad person? Like, I don't get that. I look at a lot of times too, because I really feel like something's gonna happen where I'm really just gonna blow up, or really just gonna become super successful. I believe myself that I'm become successful, so I don't put negative energy out there a lot of the time. Like when I saw Matt Rife sold out like Cobb's 2 shows, right? People like, man, he not even funny. I just do this. I'm looking around like, you see what he's doing? Like, you see this? Yeah. Like, God, if you can give me the same possibility of having sold out Cobb's, which sits 350 people, like, please, Lord, if you give me the same opportunity, I'll give you all the glory. I'll give you all the praise. This is what I want. Why hating on the dude saying he's not funny when you can't do this? Yeah. You can't sell out this.
That's for everything.
Then he has a national tour that he end up making $20 million from Live Nation from. Yeah. God, I want that same thing. Like, we're saying he's not funny, but he figured out how to do theaters, how to sell out shows beforehand. Shows are added. So like, he's beyond the moment of doing stand-up free time. He's or full time. Yeah. He's making a killing in the stand-up game. Who doesn't want that? You should look at that, but okay, well, what is he doing successfully to get that same thing? All right, crowd work. Okay, I'm gonna try to do that. Or like, at least, but it got to be good crowd work. You just can't be talking to people. I need to work on my crowd work or something. I need clips, but not necessarily my stand-up is not there or stuff like that. So like, okay, let me do some other like random moments, stuff like that. Then figure out, okay, like, well, you know, work to that kind of thing. Work to see the positive people who are making go, okay, his social media is strong. Well, I need to work on my social media. I work on my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube. I need to get that better. All kind of stuff. Instead of just saying, this dude not funny. Yeah. Because nothing comes from that. Yeah. But negativity, you thinking I'm funnier than him, I should be him.
You see somebody successful, you should be inspired.
Inspired.
You got to be able to break down what they doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, all right, so what, after you think he's not funny, what's next? I'm better than him. Okay, so now what?
Wait, are you gonna tell him that?
Yeah, are you
hey, buddy.
Yeah, right. Are you at the local club? Are you hosting? Are you past there? Are you featuring? Yeah. Do you have a one-nighter coming up? Like, are you available to sell tickets? Yeah, are you available to market? Do you have your own show? Like, kind of, what are you doing? Okay, well, if he's not funny, then what makes you so much funnier? And then why aren't you as far as him? Yeah. Well, also Matt Rife is like kind of an anomaly because only like Matt Rife, Kevin Hart, stuff like blown up like that. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, okay, well, how do you get to where he's at? That should be a next step instead of like he ain't funny, man. People trying. So it's like, why think like that? It does nothing. It does nothing to help you.
It just makes you look bad because like, okay, if you're funnier than him, why aren't you doing what he's doing?
Right. Especially because Matt Rife is a cool dude too. Like, I saw him do a meet and greet. It was like meet and greet was like 45 minutes.
Damn.
After the show, and he did like, it was like an hour and a half show.
Damn.
So the staff was kind of mad because it was like, it was late. but you know. Every single one of those audience members go remember that. Took a picture.
As a performer, that's real. Like, you know what I mean? Like you mentioned, the staff hates it because I know like we just did like 5 shows back to back. Like, bro, I'm trying to go home and fucking clock out. Yeah. But from like you said, from a fan perspective, like, damn, bro, this dude is big. He got a Netflix special. He's doing all this shit, but he took time to hang out after performing for an hour and a half.
That's big.
To spend another hour with his fans. Like, that's real.
Took a picture. We bought his merch. He signed my merch. He took a picture of me. I could post it. Everybody said it's like, oh shit, like he did. You know, you said hi. It was nice. Like all that is like in the bank of like, damn, like, well, next time we go on tour, I gotta go see him. Super nice, super cool. Then you might, when you go to theaters, when you're not doing comedy clubs, I'll pay for the meet and greet again because I'll remember him. And then, hey, let me remember that time you was at Cobb's and I took this picture with you. Now I can show you. Oh, dude, let's take another one. Your family here, stuff like that. Well, shoot, let me. And then sometimes you get big like that if you have merch. Sometimes people give away free merch because if I just sold out a theater, I could give away a little merch things. But then that's what I be thinking too. Sometimes like when you got a theater. And I'm like, imagine the merch sales. I be thinking like that, like
going crazy
because I have merch and I'll be selling it, and that kind of helps me like make more. Like I get paid so much on the show, then I make a little extra, and then usually whenever I get my merch sales get up to $200, I just really re-put that back into like merch sales. Like, okay,
another stream of income.
Another stream of income, and it's just like, okay, I sold these sizes. Okay, I need 10 more in this size. I need 10 more in that. And then so it's a key way to have like merch constantly. But sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And like sometimes I'll make enough off merch where I have to pay a bill with that. So it's like, damn, I was trying to redo my merch with that, but I got to pay a bill. So it's like, okay, cool. But then I look at it like as that second stream of income where I can't pay a bill or things is tight and I can't use my merch money to get me over to my next paycheck. So
that's what's up, man. So where can the people find you on social media, Twitter, IG, if you're on Twitter or IG, and what projects or specials or shows you got coming up?
And keep in mind, this coming out in January 2025.
It's coming out in January 2025?
January or February.
Shit, dude, that's so right now we recorded this in November. No, so for right now, I'll probably January or February. I'll look at the San Jose Improv page. I'll probably try to ask for another headlining opportunity in May. This is what I'm looking at. So look out for that. Check the San Jose Improv or check my Facebook, Corde Snell, Corde, not the rapper who spells it Cordae.
Yeah, not YBN.
That's why. Yeah, YBN Corde. I don't know why you just shorted to Corde like that. Sucks so much. Look at my Instagram, Corde Made Yo Day. Corde made like I made some MADE YO and then day.
Hell yeah, we're gonna have it all tagged up.
And then also that's on Twitter. It's Corde Made YR Day. It's supposed to be your. So that's stupid. And then Corde Made Your Day on TikTok too and YouTube channel. So by that time, January, I'll probably be having that in San Jose. I'll probably have like a list of dates. Go to my Instagram. I used to put my dates up there, or I usually update during the week on my Facebook. But okay, I got this show, stuff like that. I actually need to get better on that Instagram. Like,
hey, follow this dude on IG, man. He got content for days.
Yeah, for days. And the funny thing about it, like, is like I'm so used to like stuff going viral, stuff doing real well. I'm gonna start archiving stuff that's like not that much, but okay, I'm gonna archive this, I'm gonna archive this, I'm gonna archive.
Also, where your reels just show like 1 million, 10,000, 100,000.
So what I was
this
told,
only did 3. Let's go ahead and take this off.
So by marketing people, they say if you should do that because the algorithm like shows that you only do like. When you post something, it does well.
We only do numbers over here.
So then the algorithm starts doing that. Like, okay, well, when he posts, it's only doing this big numbers. Yeah. So he has, whenever he posts, it's only supposed to be big. So then it gets shown more because it's like that. So you start archiving, okay, this is low, this is low, this is low. And then you keep like everything up big. So, okay, so boom. Okay, now this one blow up again. So
you gotta train the algorithm.
Yeah. So I remember I was dating this girl and she was like, your best days are Tuesday and Thursday at 3:15. So I'll be trying to post that. And then when I was posting it those times, it was working. So now I'm trying to get the next viral clip or just more than like 3,000 views. So because when that happens, I'm just trying to get to 10K. That's my current goal. Hopefully I get to 10K soon. And then I'll now become like a moderator or not a moderator.
You can
monetize all the different clips I'm doing. So then you start getting paid per clip, and then so money like that. I'm like, oh yeah, another stream of income coming in. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so we gonna have all the social media handles and info down here.
Yeah,
bro, appreciate you for sliding through.
Appreciate y'all, man. Hell
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad we was able to get this done, bro.
Hell yeah.
Super random, but like it was one of those like, bro. Like I said, when I first met you, was just a dope ass soul, genuine person.
Yeah.
Funny ass up and coming comic. So to see you now headlining and having you like doing, that's dope to see, man. That's dope to see, bro.
Oh, another thing, comedians out there, be a cool guy, be a cool person. Like, be like nice to people. Like, people tell me all the time, like you said, I'm a just dope person, cool guy, and I'm funny too. Like, so many people tell me that, like, Corde, you're just a cool dude, man. You're just like cool to be around. And I'm like, well, I try to be, you know. But then they be like, nah, a lot of people aren't. I'm like, really? They was like, yeah. And then people be like, yo, I don't know how to be like you. I was like, nice? You want to be nice? It'd be so weird for people. They was like, well, you know, because you be talking to people. I ain't trying to talk. I was like, what are we doing? Like, you don't know how to just like be cordial to people. Like, cause even
they ain't gonna bite, bro.
Right? Like, even it's crazy because I go to Cobbs, I go to San Jose Improv all the time, and I just say hi to the staff all the time. Mm-hmm. I check in with them. I say, what's up? How we doing? Yada yada. Strike a conversation. I'll be like, hey, hey, so I just closed out table 9. Make sure that they picked up this table. Like, what? I'm like, I'm joking with you. Like, so it'd be like little stuff like that. And then people's like, yeah, people aren't like that. People are standoffish. People are weird. People don't talk to me. I'm like, why? Like, at the end of the day, we all like still people. We all like staff. And then me doing that too, like I get a little hookups. Like, just like, hey, what's up, Corde? Like, we'll give you like a nice seat when you come to the club, or like when it's like I remember it was like when Cobbs, like Dave Attell had came back for the first time. This place was sold out and it was like 15 comics waiting outside. Yeah. And then I remember like one of the ladies who worked there walked up, looked at like who was the comics outside, pulled me out of the 15 comics. Corde, come inside. Come. And I was like, all right, y'all, sorry. And I got a good ass seat to watch Dave Attell. But it's just like being personal.
Human beings want to be acknowledged, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's it. That's all. Yeah. That's all we want.
Nah, that's facts, bro. Yeah. Well, shit, man. With that, we got another episode in the rest. First episode of 2025. You know what I mean? Sir. Yeah. Well, first guest episode of 2025.
There we go. Good guest to have, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Starting the year off lighthearted and fun, bro.
Yeah, you feel me? There we go. Yeah. Well, on behalf of the 2 Coin Podcast, it's your boy Ronnie.
I'm your brother Waleed, the other side of the coin. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that follow button. Tap in with Corde, tap in with Ronnie, tap in with me.
Hell yeah.
In the next episode.
Yeah.